Hey guys, Tris TV here. Today I'm going to be ranking the best footballers. If you have any suggestions or you disagree, please leave it in the comments, starting off with Johan Cruyff. Of course, regarded by many Barcelona fans as one of the greatest of all time, and rest in peace to him as well. He also invented the Cruyff term, which is now mostly used as a skill move, which a lot of football players do like to use as well. Ronaldo, R9, of course, one of those street footballers from Brazil, just had amazing skill moves as well, and was part of those amazing Brazil teams that won World Cups as well. Pelé as well, regarded in Brazil as one of the greatest players of all time. Scored, I think, about 700 career goals. That is a crazy amount of goals to be scoring as well, and I think as well he's a player that a lot of people from Brazil like to look up to as well. Diego Maradona, rest in peace as well, of course, known for that hand of God at the 1986 World Cup, but he could just get past any player, and he must have just been a nightmare player. If you were playing a game and you saw him on the team sheet, you just must have thought, this is going to be a difficult game, which just shows how much of a elite player he actually was. Sergio Aguero, of course, world class. He's in one of the best goal scorers in the Premier League as well of all time, up there with Alan Shearer, Thierry Henry, and when you're with that kind of caliber of players, you know you are a world-class striker. Phil Foden, he's still got a bit of time to develop, but I would say he is quite a top player. He does perform very well in that Manchester City team, and he's done some England games, he does perform well, but I do think as well he has got a lot of time to develop, and I do think he can become a world-class player. Messi, of course, an elite player. When he retires, he's going to be like a footballer that football just won't be the same when he kind of retires as well. And he scored about, I think, like 80 goals in a calendar year, something like that. That is just crazy numbers as well, and I think that he's just a player as well that a lot of the generation kind of today who want to be footballers look up to as well. Erling Haaland, he scores a crazy amount of goals as well, something like 66 goals in like 67 games for Dortmund, and he was doing that as well for RB Salzburg in Austrian Bundesliga. And I just think if he continues like this goal scoring form, then he could be a world class player as well. Xavi, of course, one of the best midfielders, if not the best midfielder of all time. But he does have a lot of competition in that category. But for Barcelona, he was just amazing. He had, just like passing, he could find a teammate, and you think, how did he find that teammate? And he was just that kind of role model as well to Leo Messi, who he kind of looked up to when he was starting off his Barcelona career. Cristiano Ronaldo, of course, he goes in the top as well. CR7, whatever a lot of people call him, they do the Ronaldo and Messi debate, but I just think we should all appreciate two great players that a lot of our generation and I have been kind of grateful to have seen in their prime as well. So I do think they are very, very top players, and when they both kind of retire, it will change football a lot. Luis Suarez, look, he had Lionel Messi at Barcelona, and he does have great goal scoring form, but you see the amount of elite players up there. It's kind of, is Suarez on that kind of level? I do think he could have had that potential to be on that level, but there is just a lot of competition that he would be competing up against. So I'd say world class. Lewandowski, Robert Lewandowski, of course, world class as well. Scored so many goals in the Bundesliga. I think he scored the record last year, I think, behind Gerd Müller. And I do think that just every single Bundesliga season he always gets the top amount of goals. 20 goals, 25 goals. He's just consistently scoring goals, and I think that he is kind of those old school strikers that just love to score. Maldini, of course, he's got to be elite. He was part of that Italian 90s kind of defenders. They were just like the defenders that would just put their bodies on the line, just defend like when it was a big game, if it was a final, and that was like kind of the really elite defending that people had seen in that era of football. And he was regarded, I think, when I've spoken to other people, they do speak quite very highly of him, and that just shows why he should be an elite footballer. Kylian Mbappe, of course, been part of 2 France squads, one winning the World Cup and one nearly winning the World Cup. He does score a ridiculous amount of goals as well. He does have that potential as well, but I wouldn't quite say he's world class yet, but he is nearly there. Mason Mount, I put him in good, but look, he does perform consistently, but he just does, it is quite inconsistent at times. But as always with Mason Mount, he's just one of those players, the more he kind of plays, the more he'll kind of find his rhythm and kind of be that starter for Chelsea. And when he's played in his like number 10 position, that's where he can really flourish. So I think if he's played more in his position, I would have moved him up to the top player category. Neymar, of course, world class. Look, he was part of the Barcelona team as well, that trio, Messi, Suarez, Neymar. He was just crazy. He's kind of got that Brazilian skill, the Brazilian skill moves. He's just a street footballer. Like, he knows how to get past players and knows like what to do. And I just think it's a credit that he's won a Champions League and he is where he is now. Ramos as well, just one of those defenders, just defends for his lives and has just been doing it like for a long time now, and I think it's just a testament to how good he actually is. Ronaldinho, of course, crazy skill moves, and like other players, a lot of players do look up to him as well, and I think that he was, if he kind of played in this era of football, he would be up there as well. And I think just some of his skill moves, I think, how did you even do that? And that's just how really elite that he actually is. Similar to Zinedine Zidane as well, one of the best midfielders as well, and was part of that France World Cup winning squad, famous for that headbutting incident. But he is, of course, apart from that, a great midfielder and deserves to be in the elite category. Benzema, this might be controversial, but I would say elite. He's been just a great striker for Real Madrid for so long as well, and I just think as well that he gets good recognition, but I think he just deserves even more recognition for how good he's been in Champions League and in the league as well for Real Madrid. Kevin De Bruyne, called world class as well. He's been amazing for Man City ever since he's joined them, and you can just kind of see as well that he did have that potential as a player, and I think he's more than fulfilled that potential as well. Angel Di Maria, yeah, I wouldn't say world class, but God, he did have great performance. He was a promising player at Real Madrid as well, and he did get a World Cup as well, which he did deserve. And I think he has been in amazing teams, and I do think he's just that player that you want if you just want him to score goals, or it's the last minute of the game. He's that player. Paulo Dybala, of course, he did do very well at Juventus and was regarded as a promising player, but I don't think he's really hit those levels yet. But that's not saying he's not a bad footballer, but he's not quite hit the world class or the top level. Bruno Fernandes, look, this might be a bit controversial, but United have been in a bit of a mess over the years, and I do think Bruno Fernandes, when you do want some goals or you want him to chip in with some goals, he does do that as a player. Yeah, he can be very, very frustrating, but I think if he kind of gets that out of his game, he can do even better. Eden Hazard, of course, world class. Look, when he was part of Chelsea, he was regarded one of the best wingers in the Premier League, and he was competing up against some really top players. There was even a debate of him and Mohamed Salah as well. And look, it's been a bit of an eventful ride for him at Real Madrid, but that's no doubting how good he has actually been and what a career he's had as a footballer. Same with Zlatan Ibrahimovic, of course. He's got quite an elite mentality, loves to win, and you just kind of need that mentality in the dressing room as well, and that's what mentality he likes to bring to football clubs as well, which has definitely worked when he was part of Manchester United and PSG, and even not the Inter side, and even part of it was only the two, I think only those two sides, Man United and PSG, when Man United won the EFL Cup and Europa League and PSG won the title. Andres Iniesta, yeah, I'd have to say elite as well. What an amazing midfielder, him and Xavi, that partnership, oh my word. If any kind of team just was facing that, you immediately just thought game over. And look, I think they both complemented each other very, very well, and they just showed what it means to be a midfield player and how to play as a midfielder. Harry Kane, for seasons at Spurs, he's just been scoring goals. Even though Spurs, a lot of people banter them for not winning many trophies, he's always kind of turned up. Yeah, he does get the criticism for not turning up in finals, but to continue to get double figures in every season and win the Golden Boot, you have to kind of be a top striker, and I think he really is one of the top strikers. Joshua Kimmich, look, he is part of a great Bayern Munich team. I don't quite think he's on the level yet to be top player, but he is versatile, can play many positions, and I think that really works for any manager that wants a player who is versatile as him. Paul Pogba, I'd say good. Some managers have questioned his attitude, but I think when he does score goals and help contribute to the team, he can produce top performances. It's just he doesn't do it consistently, which does frustrate fans. But I do think if he just focuses, then I think he'll be able to advance his game much more. Romelu Lukaku, I think with him he's capable of scoring goals as well, but I just think sometimes it's his commitment, and also I think that injuries have stopped him, but I just think sometimes he doesn't look like he wants to be on the football pitch, and I just think if he has much more motivation and much more good leadership around him, I think he can be good and thrive in any football team. Mohamed Salah, I'd say world class. I think since he's been at Liverpool, he's been just a consistent goal scorer. Many fans have put him up there with close to the best in the world, and he has been scoring goals consistently, turning up in the big games in the FA Cup, the EFL Cup and the Champions League, which he did contribute to helping Liverpool win. And I think if he continues like this, he could move up to elite, but I just think how he's doing, he's doing very well, and I think Liverpool spent very well on Mohamed Salah. Virgil van Dijk, I'd say world class. People were questioning 75 million when they bought him from Southampton. He has shown what a great centre-back he is. Great leadership, great at defending, just everything you want in a centre-back, and I think he's just proved over the years that he is one of the best centre-backs in the world, and he does deserve to kind of be on the same level as some of the centre-backs that I've put in the world-class category.